Hi, welcome to Rick Says What. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking about different mistakes that we've made when we've gone out in our RV.
And we've been RVing for a long time, and we still today make same mistake. Not the same mistakes, but we still make mistakes.
Well, anyway, I'm Marta.
And I'm Rick.
We are Rick Says What, and we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Hello, this is Rick from Rick Says What. Thank you very much for watching our videos. If you would be so kind to hit the like button and the subscribe button and comment on some of our videos so we can provide you with better videos in the future. That way we know what you're looking for. So if you don't know how to subscribe or comment, and you can't do it because you can't see it on your YouTube channel, well then go to change your settings and you go from private to public. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to be public to everybody. That just means that you can comment, like, and subscribe on any channel that you're watching. So just change those settings and then you'll find out you can do a lot more interaction with the channel that you're watching. So thank you for watching. Now on to the video. Thank you. All right, today we're going to be talking about mistakes we've made in RVs. And everybody's made mistakes. The reason we do this video is to maybe alert people things to check before they go RVing.
I have pages.
Pages. Not pages, but
yeah, I do. I have a couple pages.
We made a lot of mistakes, okay?
But maybe one or two are just
stupid
mistakes that like our friends, maybe they've made or something.
Mistakes, and we've heard it too, but we've usually made most of the mistakes.
And it's not funny sometimes when they happen to you, but when you look back and relay them to someone else, they're kind of then you can laugh.
Yeah, and a lot of
most of them.
Yeah.
Now we had one of our very first trailers. We had taken and you were going to stay in it for a week. I was headed back home. And we had a fire in it. I don't know if that was a mistake, though.
No, that wasn't a mistake.
That wasn't a mistake. That was a faulty electrical panel or something. Okay, so cross that one off the list. That really wasn't our fault.
No, that wasn't our fault. We turned on the power, hooked up the power, and there was smoke coming out, and it was a faulty thing in the electrical panel.
So, we had gone to the lake, and we were trying to get set up. It was getting late in the afternoon, almost dark. We needed to get everything set up, and what was it?
And we had friends coming out, and we were all going to go. We were going to barbecue out,
grill,
and everything was. We were just sitting around, and I told them, I says, we're out here and everything, and I wanted to get our water heater going. And
yep.
I couldn't get it lit. I mean, I tried everything. I opened the panel up, and I'm lighting with this lighter, and I'm lighting all over the places. I'm going, there is no way I'm lighting this water heater. I just don't understand what's wrong. We're going to have to take it back to the factory or whatever.
So we're not going to have any hot water.
No, we can't have hot water.
One of our friends came out, and he said,
"Let me look at it."
Let him take a look at it.
And he says, Rick, you don't like this water heater. You just turn on this switch and it comes on. I go, oh, well, okay, it's good now.
Yeah.
So I was trying to that's just been a new RV thing. When you buy an RV, and they take you through the RV and they show you everything that you need to be doing, most of the time, you're not even paying attention. You're going, oh man, I can't wait to get this thing out. I can't wait I know all this crap. What can I need to know? So let's hurry up and go through this. Yeah, there's that, there's this. This is how you do this. As soon as you take it out, you go, oh crap, how do I do this?
Well, the other thing, too, is it's hard to remember everything, and there's always something different
Yeah.
about every RV.
There is something
it seems
different.
like there's something different. So yes, you should pay attention when they're going through that and ask questions.
I recommend filming it.
Film it.
Because you're not going to remember it. So just film it when they go through the RV setup, because trust me, you will forget. So that's the first thing.
So
another thing that we don't have on the list that just came to my mind with this same RV is don't spray things in your trailer.
Oh, I think that was another RV.
No, that was the same one.
Was it the same one? Well, I did not know how bad bug spray was. But I tell you what, I don't go outside without a bunch of bug spray, on to keep the mosquitoes from eating me alive. Only thing is, after I sprayed it inside before I went outside.
And she sprayed it all over her body, because if you know Marta at all, she does not like bugs, and she will do anything so they don't bite her.
But it ate the vinyl.
On the floor.
Ate through the vinyl on the floor.
It didn't eat through it. It just made spots where the overspray went, and it damaged the vinyl on the floor.
The vinyl.
And so it was always damaged, and it was because she wouldn't spray outside. She sprayed inside.
I forgot about that.
So always watch what you do inside your RV, because it could damage things that you don't know about.
Also, make sure before you unhitch that you chalk your wheels, right?
Right. Definitely, anytime, if you're pulling an RV or you're pulling anything, always, before you unhitch from your truck, chalk wheels. Chalk your trailer wheels in the front and the back. Then disconnect your RV. We forgot that a couple times, and we just pull in. Oh man, we look like we're level. Life is good. I lift that baby up soon as it pops off of that little ball, my RV starts rolling back. And there is no worse feeling than you see your RV rolling away from you, and you don't know how it's going to stop. And luckily, the stand goes down and it dug in. But if it wouldn't have been for that stand digging in, I don't know how long or how steep. So always chalk your wheels.
Yes.
That's a definite.
The other thing is, you're kind of right there anyway when you're hitching or unhitching. So when you're hitching up, we forgot. Well, Rick does most of the hitching up, so I get to blame it on him. Forgot to put the what is that? The plug-ins.
Plug-in in the truck.
Yeah, whatever those things are.
So
forgot to hook up our lights.
Up the lights.
They're just these things that go together.
You had the ball connected. You had the chains on. Definitely remember chains. I forgot that before too. Connect the chains to your truck. Cross them so they don't drag. Then you got to plug in your lights. Make sure that's plugged in.
We always had those sway bars.
Sway bars. Make sure the sway bars are on. Everything like that. And then after you pull away, I suggest pulling away from your site for maybe a 2 foot or so like that. Stopping. Then going back and double checking everything again.
Yeah, it might even, you might even go forward 8 or 10 feet. Who knows? But yeah, we usually now he has me do a walk around, and that's because don't forget to shut
your
doors, like the storage doors, and lock those up, because he's always using stuff, and so he's got some open for the stuff he's doing. And then, if you don't walk around, you could
leave one of those. You can leave your door open. It's really something that you can forget something. Another thing that people forgot. Okay, so you forget a door, one of the storage doors. That's why I suggest going a little bit down the road or whatever and say, let's just do another double check here, because sometimes if you leave those storage doors open, whatever you have in there can fall out. We have gone down the road and had a car honking at us and letting us know. They keep pointing to the back, and we go, what the heck?
So then we pull over when it's safe.
And then we find a storage door that has popped open, or our side door popped open, or something.
That's the other thing. Making sure that your main door is closed and locked. Well, actually, I don't know if that was so much our fault or as a
it's a manufacturing defect.
Because we swore. We shut the door, locked it, everything was good. We even put the handle over it. That's kind of the last little deal to make sure you've done everything. And it was open. Like when you went to a gas station, you
found what happened is that we had these new steps that just they fold up, and then you shut the door. And then when you get to your place, they come down, and they're a lot sturdier going in and out of your trailer. But
I know why.
They didn't install this bar that kept them in place. So ours would sit there and bang. Well, it would bang against the door and actually loosen the door. Mm-hmm. And so we would have a bad place where it was knocking against our door and opening our door up. And it loosened it. Even if it was locked, it would loosen that door up. And the only thing holding that door in place was that bar that you hold up. And
that you fold
thank goodness
over.
that didn't come loose, because we'd be going down the road with no bar.
The other thing is we found out, and it's my job basically inside to make sure that things are put away. And I usually do, but sometimes there have been some things I thought would be fine, where they were or how they were. And next thing you know, they're thrown all over someplace else. So it is a good idea to make sure you put everything away inside like you should if you're going to be traveling. And we had a couple of latches on. Now, this was not really my fault. I did not know that the latches would not hold when we were going through some really,
on the drawers,
rough roads. Yes,
on drawers.
And so they were popping open, and it was awful. So we kind of came up with a fix for that. Because otherwise we didn't know what we were going to do.
Curtain rods. We put curtain rods. Tension rods. We would put tension rods, and we would put them against the drawer. So when you ran around a corner or you hit a bump, or RVs, whether they're Class A's, Class C's, any pull trailers, whatever, they get shook a lot. And when they go over these bumps, those drawers can pop open. So you want to make sure that the lashes are good. If you have a drawer that keeps coming open, you better secure it, because it's going to bang in and out, and it will damage your RV. Matter of fact, we had some wood fly off of one of our cabinets. But
here's and that's something to watch for. Again, one of our mistakes. Learn from our mistakes. Anyway, what was it that we had? A trailer with a bumper. We thought we could probably just put a one of those cargo carriers on and carry some cargo back there. Just maybe 100 or so pounds back on that bumper.
Nope.
Wrong.
We put a little cargo carrier on the back of it, and just put not that probably much weight on it.
Maybe about 100 pounds.
And it actually started turning that bumper. It was so flimsy that we had to actually take our cargo carrier off and leave it to come back and get it some other time with something, because
If it was still there, and we weren't sure it would still be there. But we were like, well, if it's gone, somebody has a cargo carrier,
Yeah. And it was pretty expensive.
Because we started out like this. It was all nice, flat. And then we didn't know it was doing that. We were driving along.
And we had another nice gentleman.
But we stopped at a rest
stop, and we had this guy come up and says, "Do you own that rig?" And we're thinking, yeah. He was going to say, "Well, I've got one just like it." No, he says,
or that it was nice. That's a pretty one,
Nope, he says, "Well, you're about ready to lose that thing you have on the back of your trailer."
We're like, "Oh, really?"
What?
So we go,
and then we look at it, and it is tilted. And he said, when he was following us, it was just bouncing back and forth.
It's terrible.
And if we wouldn't have rearranged that and put all that stuff in our truck and took it off that carrier, we probably would have lost it and the bumper. So that's another thing that you just got to watch. Make sure that your bumper is weighted enough to carry anything extra on it, because that had a tire on it. And then when we put the carrier on, it was just too far out and too much weight.
So, let's see, what's next? Oh, knowing. It's a good idea to know exactly how tall your RV is. Now, I have to tell you, we never
measured it for sure.
Yeah, but we never hit it, did we?
We've never hit.
We didn't hit. But the thing is, there were a couple times we felt we were awfully close. Because what? We didn't know.
You didn't know. That it's very important to know how high you are. Because when you're going through these overpasses or under these overpasses or under bridges or things like that, they tell you 13.
Even the gas station.
13. Yes. 13.6, 12.6, 14.6,
11.
And if you don't
11
know,
foot 10 or whatever, and what if you're 11 foot 12, or 11 or whatever? Even 11.10, you wouldn't probably make it under an 11.10 clearance.
Yeah, and if you don't know how high you are, you're just guessing, and that is not good, because if you're going through a 14 foot and you're 13.6, you're going to be tight, and you don't want to find out after you've already ripped off an air conditioner that you were too tall, because you need to know, oh my God, that one's only 13.6, and you can see that ahead of you. You need to get off or whatever, because you can't go there and say, oh no, I just lost something. And we've seen YouTube people that have been traveling for many years, and they know how high they are. So you definitely need to know your height and what you can feel comfortable going under.
Another thing is, it would help if there was any way that you could. Sometimes you don't know the roads you're going to be traveling on. We went on a road. We were going to a lake, and we did not know how bad
the road was.
That road was.
We had seen that a lot of people had gone to this lake.
Yes, and that was when we had a truck
and a small trailer.
And our trailer was small, but
so it was only 26 foot.
It was like.
But we had heard, this place is so beautiful that you're going to enjoy it so much. So we start going down this road.
It started out okay.
Yeah, it was a 7-mile road, 7 miles. Yeah, and all of a sudden, there's hairpin turns. There are ruts in the road so deep that you could fall in.
Don't forget
they were steep grades.
Yeah.
We go, oh my God, we can't turn around. There's no place to turn around. So we either keep going.
Yeah, but not even no place to turn around. I mean, we were crossing our fingers. Nothing would come the other way.
The other way.
It's like,
because there was not a lot of room on the side of the road. So we get there. Yes, it was we were Marty is so scared. It's
like,
unbelievable. But we finally get to this place. We start getting ready to camp. We find a place and we're saying,
how are we going to
get out of here?
How are we going to get out?
If we stay here and it rains, we'll never get out.
I wasn't so much worried about the rain. It didn't have to rain. It was bad enough the way it was. How are we going to get back out?
So we decided
it was hard enough.
It was not even worth this beautiful lake, this beautiful thing, and we just decided, you know what? Let's try to get back out of here because we still have daylight left.
We could stay somewhere else.
That's right.
And it would be better than worrying for days about
how we're going to get out of here.
We got here. Let's just get ready to go back out.
We know we can get out. The road is good enough right now that we can get out. So we just said, here's the lake. It's beautiful.
We took a few pictures and took a little walk, and then that's it. Let's go.
Got in the camper, and we got out of there, and we barely made it out because going the opposite way, some of the trenches,
ruts,
they were, oh my God, they were so terrible. We should have realized when we got there was no big rigs there. They were all small campers. Well, there was one Class C, I guess.
Well,
I don't know how he made it.
I thought there was a fifth wheel there, and that had to be every bit as big as us. But I mean, he probably had a
bigger truck.
I can't remember. He might have had a more powerful truck.
But
we didn't have a diesel.
It wasn't
because we had a small trailer. Ours
it wasn't
was not
worth
a diesel.
Ruining your RV for the prettiness of the lake.
But if you would have gotten in one of the deep ruts, I don't know how you'd ever gotten out of it.
And another going on this story is know your routes because we were coming home and we took this one route that was supposedly saved us time, and it went up a mountain, and we're going up this mountain, and all these signs say, if you're this long, don't come here. Don't do this. Don't do that. If you're over this much weight, don't go up this pass. And we're going, well, we don't know exactly what weight we are. And they're saying these trucks shouldn't go up. And here we are. Now we have a Class A, and we're going up this climb.
Well, on the map, I mean, it's just a highway going here. You know, it's like...
and it was a narrow road.
Oh my gosh,
and there was no place.
I was a wreck because I'm so scared of heights and everything, and I'm looking down, going, "Oh my gosh,
we're gonna fall off." And there was, by the time we got to some place where we could have turned around, we were already 20 miles up. So why turn around? We've gone through a lot of the worst part of it, but I thought. But then we had another 30 miles to the top.
I was going to say, I think we had 20 some miles
to the top. And by the time we got to the top, I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be up there. And
then
there was like snow. There was starting to be snow. And we're going, this is like
and the road's small. But it's also like all the way up there. Now how about going down? You don't want to burn your brakes up, or something like that.
But luckily, when we bought this, the new Winnebago we have now, the guy when we were going through it said that it came with that braking system, that your tow package, and he says if you're ever going downhill, even if you're not towing anything, drop it into the towing, and it'll help you brake. And it does. I mean, it did. And so it helped us save our brakes because it would not let that thing go in a different gear, and it kept it a little lower, and that tremendously helped save brakes.
Well, and the other thing is going on let's say you're in a campground or going into a campground. you want to make sure that you can have some place where you can actually, you've got to be able to turn around and get out of there, right?
Right. You know, make sure that when you go into a campground that you can back in and you can get out or hook up. If you don't want to get in a campsite that's too
pull through, that would be
pull throughs are nice. Also, when you're in the campsites, make sure the surroundings. Make sure
Right.
of that there are trees. Oh, it's nice to be under a tree.
A shade tree.
A shade tree is
everyone
great.
likes, like a shade tree maybe.
But don't pull your trailer in and have that shade tree rip off your roof, because that can happen. If there's low-hanging branches, they can either hit the side of your trailer or they can hit the top of your trailer. They can hit your stuff. Make sure that it's clearance coming out, because it doesn't take much to ruin or damage your roof. Then you're going to have leaks.
Now, we didn't have that happen to us, fortunately. Unfortunately, a good friend of ours did.
They pulled in and they were pulling out, and a tree branch caught one of their stuff and ripped some of their roof.
Ripped it off. It was horrible. And I can't remember if on the same trip.
On the same trip, yes,
on the
they
same
moved.
Trip, our friend.
Friends.
And it's just, I mean, it's one of those things that you kind of chuckle about now because it's over with.
But it cost them a lot of money.
Horrible.
What they did,
Horrible.
they were at a site.
Yes.
And they liked this site, but they thought there was another site that had a better view, and it was just about 100 feet away. They could see it. So they hooked up their RV. They didn't pull in. They didn't completely do everything. They left their awning out. They left things because they're only moving across the street. Well, they moved in and they hit something and ripped their awning. So even if it's a small move, treat it like it's a long move, because you don't want to have. We did something not like that, but we took our little trailer up to Colorado, and we had to fill up with water before we go into our site. So to see if you're filling up full of water, you got to put the steps out, go in there and check your levels, and make sure when we're full. And Marta would, tell me that you're full, Rick. So then I would shut the water off. Okay, so we had the steps out, and Marta was making sure that the hose was a long reach from where the water was. And she says, "Oh, you got to pull up a little bit." So I just got in the truck and I started pulling forward. And now we hadn't had this trailer very long.
And he's going,
I'm pulling the trailer forward, and I hear, and I'm going, the steps are dragging. They're still down. I'm like, how dumb are you, Rick? You didn't even put the steps up, but you were thinking, I'm only moving 4 or 5 feet. Well, but the slope of that driveway changed in that 4 feet where it was nice and solid there. Now the driveway goes up, and I'm scraping, and I'm thinking, oh, I could have ripped the stairs off. And it's just, even a 5-foot move, I could have done really bad damage. Made some damage. Luckily, these steps kind of floated. They weren't solid, and they floated up a little bit.
You mean they bounced?
They bounced a little
That's
bit.
what they did. They bounced.
But it was a stupid move, and I could have done a lot of damage for 5 feet. Just take that extra time. Go put those steps up. Move the 5 foot, and then put them back down.
Now, we talk about go around your trailer, have a checklist. That's what you need, is a checklist. And we've heard other RVers, expound on that.
Right.
It is important because everyone
and
can forget to do something, but and follow it. But make sure before you get to your site and you're going to get all settled in that you have what?
Propane.
Water and propane.
It sounds stupid, but sometimes you don't check a propane level. You know, some RVs, they don't have, it's only on your tanks. You don't have a thing you checking your level. And so you are just taking a guess how much propane you have if you don't have that gauge. Well, so now we're talking about the propane. We went to a place and we thought we had enough gas and we didn't check. So then we went to the campsite and we tried to light the gas, and the gas ran for a little bit and then it quit. So then we said, well, that doesn't make any sense. So I went out and I checked the propane bottle. Well, the one propane bottle was empty. And so I went to the other one and it showed empty. Well, we had just bought the RV.
They were supposed to have filled all of the propane up.
Right. And what they did is evidently only filled one bottle. And we thought we had a second bottle. And all of a sudden we have no propane. So we had to take the bottle off, go into town, and get that bottle filled up. So it's always a necessity that you check your levels of everything. Make sure your black tank is emptied before you go out camping. But if you do full time,
you need your water full, you need your propane full.
Right, you need everything full. Mm-hmm. But then if you go out camping and you camp all the time, it's not as important that you dump your tanks, because you don't want to be traveling with a lot of water. That's the one thing. You don't want to be traveling with a lot of water. Tanks. You do want
either
something
black or gray, or,
right?
Or what's the other one called? Fresh.
Freshwater tank.
Fresh black gray.
You don't want to be traveling with a full water tank, because if the wind is blowing and things like that, and you're pulling a trailer, the sloshing of the water going back and forth can cause you to sway more in the wind. And plus, it'll lower your gas mileage because you're too heavy. What do you mean? No, it's a truth that right. If you start swaying, it'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
So those are the things. So anyway, you don't want that to happen to you. The sloshing. So thanks for joining us. As we say all the time, subscribe, comment, like. And if you don't know how to subscribe, make sure your account is in public. Then you can subscribe to the channel. Then you can comment on the channel. It doesn't do anything different to your account. It just changes it from private to public so you can interact with the people that you're watching. So thanks for watching. Rick Says What. Stay tuned for our next episodes next week. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.
See you later.